Hey guys! Pale Rider, 1985, the legendary Western directed by Clint Eastwood, remains a fan favorite almost 40 years later. But what happened to the cast after this iconic film? In 2025, many stars have built impressive careers, while others took surprising turns. Join us as we explore the real names, real ages, and where the cast is now. Let's go. 1. Clint Eastwood as Preacher. Clint Eastwood was born on May 31st, 1930, a man whose life would become as legendary as the characters he brought to the screen. By the time he starred in Pale Rider, 1985, at 55, he had already redefined the Western genre. As Preacher, a lone avenger with a quiet but commanding presence, Eastwood embodied the same raw energy and unshakable resolve that had made him a cinematic icon. But his path to that role was anything but conventional.
Long walk.
Yeah.
You're a good man, Barrett. You take care of Sarah and the girl.
In the 1960s, Eastwood shot to fame as the man with no name in the Dollars trilogy, revolutionizing the Western with his steely glare and few words. Then came Dirty Harry, 1971, The Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976, and a string of unforgettable performances that cemented his place as Hollywood's ultimate tough guy. Yet there was more to him than grit and guns.
I've been involved with a lot of them. He says, I'm really tired of it.
You ask him, he's been on your show before.
Yeah, Spencer, yeah.
I went.
But perhaps Eastwood's greatest legacy lies behind the camera. As a director, he crafted masterpieces like Unforgiven, 1992, and $1 Million Baby, 2004, proving he wasn't just an actor, he was a storyteller of the highest order. Now, at 95, his influence on cinema remains unparalleled, shaping not only the Western, but the very idea of heroism, resilience, and masculinity on screen. 2. Carrie Snodgress as Sarah Wheeler. Carrie Snodgress was born Caroline Louise Snodgress on October 27, 1945, and by the time she played Sarah Wheeler, she was 39 years old. As a mother fighting for her family's survival in the harsh frontier, Sarah embodied resilience, quiet strength, and unwavering love, qualities that Snodgress brought to life with remarkable depth. Her performance added emotional weight to the film, proving once again her ability to portray complex, layered characters.
I knew you were a gunfighter. Who but a gunfighter could have done such a thing? You, really.
Long before Pale Rider, Snodgress had already made her mark. In 1970, she delivered a breakout performance in Diary of a Mad Housewife, earning an Academy Award nomination and winning 2 Golden Globes. But at the height of her success, she made a rare choice, stepping away from Hollywood to care for her son, Zeke, who was born with cerebral palsy, and to be with her then-partner, musician Neil Young.
A publicity tour. I mean, my work effort was...
The basic difference between you and Jack is that you're not a... Play any basketball.
Screw you, Jack.
Though she put family first, Snodgress never completely left acting. She returned to the screen in the late 70s and continued working steadily through the 80s and 90s. Sadly, she passed away on April 1st, 2004, at the age of 58, while awaiting a liver transplant. Gone too soon, but never forgotten, her work, and the quiet power she brought to it, lives on. 3. Sidney Penny as Megan Wheeler. At just 14 years old, Sidney Penny stepped onto the big screen in Pale Rider, 1985, making a lasting impression as Megan Wheeler. In Clint Eastwood's gritty Western, her character's innocence and quiet strength provided a powerful contrast to the harsh world around her. Despite her young age, Penny delivered a performance full of heart and conviction, proving she could hold her own alongside Hollywood veterans.
We all love you, Preacher! Thank you!
Her career had already begun to take shape before Pale Rider, with a standout role as young Maggie Cleary in The Thornbirds, 1983, which earned her a Young Artist Award. From there, she quickly became a familiar face in film and television, seamlessly transitioning between projects like The New Gidget, 1986 to 1988, and Santa Barbara, 1992 to 1993.
Oh, are we gonna live here?
Well, not exactly.
that that needed to come out.
Where she earned a Daytime Emmy nomination. Whether playing a spirited teenager, a romantic lead, or a compelling soap opera character, Penny brought sincerity and depth to every role. Now, 54, Penny continues to be involved in entertainment but has embraced a quieter life in Wilmington, North Carolina, where she has lived since 2005. In 1995, she married producer Robert Powers, and together they welcomed a child in 2007. Sadly, Powers passed away in December 2024, marking a profound loss. Yet through every chapter, on screen and off, Penny has carried herself with grace and resilience, a testament to the same strength that made her shine all those years ago. 4. Michael Moriarty as Hull Barrett. Michael Moriarty has never been one to shy away from complex, emotionally charged roles. At 44, he brought quiet strength and raw conviction to the movie as Hull Barrett, a determined rancher willing to risk everything to protect his land and loved ones. His performance added depth to the film, making Barrett one of the most memorable characters in the Western genre. With an unwavering moral compass and resilience, the role reflected the very qualities Moriarty embodied throughout his career.
Yep.
Take this man back to his cell.
Fearless, intense, and committed to authenticity. Born on April 5, 1941, in Detroit, Michigan, Moriarty had already made his mark long before Pale Rider. His breakout moment came in Holocaust, 1978, where his chilling portrayal of an SS officer earned him both an Emmy and a Golden Globe. Later, he became a household name as Executive Assistant District Attorney Ben Stone on Law and Order, bringing a commanding presence to the role for 4 seasons. But behind the scenes, Moriarty faced personal struggles, including battles with alcoholism, challenges he never shied away from discussing. His abrupt departure from Law and Order and subsequent move to Canada marked a turning point, one that allowed him to step away from Hollywood's pressures and focus on his craft on his own terms. Now, at 84, Moriarty's legacy remains undeniable. His career has been filled with highs and lows, triumphs and struggles, yet his impact on television and film endures. Through it all, he has remained an artist unafraid of reinvention, proving that true talent transcends the screen. 5. Richard Dysart as Coy LaHood. Richard Dysart had a gift for bringing complexity to his characters, and his performance in Pale Rider, 1985, was no exception. At 56, he portrayed the ruthless Coy LaHood, a wealthy businessman willing to do whatever it took to maintain control. But unlike the typical one-dimensional villain, Dysart infused LaHood with subtlety, his calculating nature tempered by moments of vulnerability. It was a performance that elevated the film's tension and showcased the depth he brought to every role.
Have you seen him before? What's he into? Jesus.
Born on March 30th, 1929, in Boston, Massachusetts, Dysart built a career that spanned decades, becoming a familiar face on both television and film. While Pale Rider solidified his status as a formidable screen presence, it was L.A. Law, 1886 to 1994, that made him a household name. As Leland Mackenzie, the wise and authoritative senior partner, Dysart earned multiple Emmy nominations, finally winning in 1992. His on-screen gravitas mirrored his real-life resilience. Through personal struggles, including turbulent relationships and loss, he ultimately found lasting happiness with his third wife, artist Catherine Jacoby. Dysart's life came to a close on April 5, 2015, at the age of 86, after a long battle with cancer. His passing marked the end of an era, but his legacy remains. Whether playing a powerful lawyer, a corrupt tycoon, or any of the countless memorable roles he took on, Dysart left behind a body of work that continues to captivate audiences today. 6. Chris Penn as Josh LaHood. Hollywood was in Chris Penn's blood, but he was never one to coast on his last name. Born on October 10, 1965, he grew up surrounded by the film industry, yet his path to success was entirely his own. At just 20 years old, he took on the role of Josh LaHood in Pale Rider, 1985, playing the reckless, conflicted son of a ruthless landowner. There was something raw and real about his performance. Beneath Josh's bravado, Penn infused a vulnerability that hinted at his depth as an actor.
Back and forth does like a ping pong game.
That depth became his signature. From Footloose, 1984, to At Close Range, 1986, he built a reputation for playing tough guys with unexpected heart. But it was Reservoir Dogs, 1992, that cemented his status, with his turn as nice guy Eddie showcasing his effortless mix of grit and charisma. Whether in True Romance, 1993, or The Funeral, 1996, which earned him the Volpe Cup for Best Actor, Penn brought a natural authenticity that set him apart. Yet, like many of the characters he played, his own life was marked by struggles. Battles with weight gain and substance abuse followed him throughout his career, but he remained a respected and beloved figure in the industry. Tragically, on January 24, 2006, Penn passed away at just 40 years old from heart disease, a loss that came far too soon. Even so, his legacy endures in the raw, genuine performances he left behind, each one a testament to the talent that made him truly one of a kind. 7. Richard Kiel as Club. Richard Kiel was hard to miss. Standing at 7 feet 1.5 inches, he had a presence that commanded attention. Born on September 13, 1939, in Detroit, Michigan, he was 45 when he took on the role of Club, the towering enforcer in Pale Rider, 1985. His sheer size made him the perfect on-screen menace, but off-screen Kiel was anything but intimidating. Affectionately known as the Gentle Giant.
Work done now, preacher?
He doesn't give up, and he's doing his job.
He was beloved in Hollywood for his warmth and kindness, a stark contrast to the villains he often portrayed. His breakout came in The Spy Who Loved Me, 1977, where he played Jaws, the steel-toothed assassin who became one of the most iconic villains in James Bond history. The role was so unforgettable that he returned for Moonraker, 1979. But Kiel wasn't just a bad guy. He had a knack for comedy, too, shining in The Longest Yard, 1974, and later stealing scenes in Happy Gilmore, 1996, as the good-natured Mr. Larson. Before Hollywood, he had tried his hand at everything from selling vacuum cleaners to working as a nightclub bouncer, proving that his road to fame was as unique as he was. On September 10, 2014, just days before his 75th birthday, Kiel passed away, leaving behind a legacy as one of cinema's most distinctive and beloved character actors. Whether as a villain or a gentle giant, his presence on screen and his kindness off it made him truly unforgettable. 8. Fran Ryan as Ma Blankenship. Some actors steal the spotlight without ever needing center stage. Fran Ryan was one of them. Born on November 29, 1916, in Los Angeles, she built a career on characters that felt real, familiar, and full of heart. By the time she stepped into Pale Rider, 1985, at 68, she had already spent decades perfecting her craft. As Ma Blankenship, the no-nonsense but fiercely loyal matriarch of a small mining town, she added depth to the film in a way only she could. Her journey to Hollywood wasn't a straight path, but it was always driven by a love for performing. She made her stage debut at just 6 years old at Oakland's Henry Duffy Theater, later attending Stanford University before joining the USO to entertain troops during World War II. Audiences came to know her through roles in The Long Riders and Big Wednesday, but her real-life story was one of quiet resilience. She endured the unimaginable loss of 2 husbands in separate plane crashes, yet she never let tragedy define her. Fran Ryan passed away on January 15, 2000, at the age of 83. Her legacy isn't just in the roles she played, it's in the way she made every moment on screen matter. She proved that sometimes the most unforgettable performances come from the actors who make the smallest roles feel just as important as the biggest ones. 9. John Russell as Stockburn. Born on January 3, 1921 in Los Angeles, John Russell had the kind of presence that made him unforgettable on screen. At 64, he took on the role of Stockburn in Pale Rider, 1985, a ruthless hired gun whose cold efficiency made him a truly menacing figure. With his towering 6'3" frame and quiet intensity, Russell embodied the kind of villain who didn't need to raise his voice to be terrifying. But off-screen, he was a far cry from the hardened characters he played.
These are my deputies. Tomorrow morning.
Easygoing, approachable, and deeply respected in Hollywood. Long before Pale Rider, Russell had already made his mark in westerns, most famously as Marshal Dan Troop in Lawman, 1958 to 1962, where he brought both grit and quiet integrity to the role. But his journey to Hollywood was anything but typical. A second lieutenant in the U.S. Marine Corps during World War II, he fought through malaria on Guadalcanal before eventually turning to acting. His career spanned decades, and even as he battled emphysema later in life, he remained dedicated to his craft, never losing the intensity that made him so compelling. John Russell passed away on January 19, 1991, just 16 days after his 70th birthday. He left behind a legacy of unforgettable performances, proving that sometimes the most powerful characters aren't the ones who say the most, but the ones who make every moment count. 10th, Charles Hallahan as McGill. If you've ever watched a film or TV show and thought, I know that guy, chances are you were looking at Charles Hallahan. Born on July 29, 1943, he wasn't the type to chase the spotlight, but the spotlight had a way of finding him. At 42, he took on the role of McGill in Pale Rider, 1985, playing a man torn between duty and survival in the lawless frontier. It was a role that fit him perfectly.
Out of knickers, ain't you? Yeah, I bet you
Shouldn't have come here at all.
You made a big mistake.
Laughing wood. Like to make us for good fire, right, boy?
Hallahan had a gift for making even the most rugged characters feel real, layered, and utterly believable. His ability to slip seamlessly into any role made him a favorite among casting directors. He commanded respect as captain. Charlie Devane on Hunter, 1986 to 1991, sent chills down spines in The Thing, 1982, and brought quiet intensity to Vision Quest, 1985, and Dante's Peak, 1997. No matter the genre, Hallahan made every moment count. But life, like the characters he played, is unpredictable. On November 25, 1997, at just 54, he suffered a fatal heart attack while driving in Los Angeles. His career was still climbing, his best roles likely ahead of him. Yet in the parts he left behind, his legacy remains, an actor who made even the smallest roles unforgettable. 11th, Doug McGrath as Spider Conway. Born on August 21, 1939, Doug McGrath was 46 when he stepped into the role of Spider Conway in Pale Rider, 1985. A man of quiet strength and loyalty, Spider wasn't just another supporting character. He was the kind of figure who held a community together. McGrath brought him to life with effortless authenticity, embodying the resilience and camaraderie that defined the film's heart. His career was built on versatility.
I knew you were in there, Clay! Speak with you. It's Clay I want to talk to.
He made his mark in Canadian cinema with Goin' Down the Road, 1970, playing Pete, a role that cemented his place in film history. From there, he delivered standout performances in Wedding in White, 1972, and the cult horror classic Black Christmas, 1974. But it was his collaborations with Clint Eastwood in The Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976, and The Gauntlet, 1977, that brought him to American audiences, proving he could hold his own alongside Hollywood legends. Now 85, McGrath remains a respected name in the industry. His ability to bring depth and sincerity to every role, no matter the genre, is a testament to a career built on skill, dedication, and an unwavering commitment to storytelling. 12th, Richard Hamilton as Jed Blankenship. Richard Hamilton was born on December 31st, 1920, and though he never sought the spotlight, his presence on stage and screen was impossible to ignore. At 64, Hamilton stepped into the rugged world of Pale Rider, Clint Eastwood's classic Western, portraying Jed Blankenship, a miner caught between survival and morality in a lawless land. His performance added weight to the film's ensemble, embodying the struggle, loyalty, and redemption that define the genre's greatest characters. Long before Hollywood, Hamilton honed his craft in the theater, earning acclaim on Broadway in Buried Child and Mornings at 7. His rich voice made him a standout in radio dramas like X-1, and though often cast in supporting roles, his talent never faded into the background. He passed away on December 21, 2004, just days before his 84th birthday. While his name may not have always been in the headlines, his impact on American theater and film remains indelible. 13. Jeffrey Weissman as Teddy Conway. Jeffrey Weissman, born on October 2, 1958, was just 26 years old when he took on the role of Teddy Conway in this classic Western. Weissman portrayed a character caught between good and bad, a member of the ruthless outlaw gang that terrorizes a small mining town. Despite being part of the villainous gang, Weissman's performance gave Teddy a surprising depth, making him more than just a typical Western antagonist.
Take you to meet me here tomorrow morning.
Weissman's career truly hit the spotlight when he stepped into the shoes of George McFly in Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3, taking over from Crispin Glover. He chose not to reprise the role. With heavy makeup and creative effects, Weissman brought the beloved to life in a completely new way. The role wasn't without controversy. Glover famously sued the production likeness without permission. Talents aren't limited to acting. An accomplished teacher, knowledge of film, improv, and acting at the San Francisco School of Digital, among other institutions. Jeffrey Weissman is 67 years old, an impact both on screen and behind the scenes. Over the years, his work has not only entertained, but has also inspired countless actors. As we've seen, the cast has taken on diverse paths, with some in the world of entertainment, while others have embraced in life. But one thing is clear: The legacy of this classic film lives on through their incredible performances. So, what do you think of the Pale Rider cast's journey since 1985? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on your favorite movies and stars.